In today's Leeds news, Michael Appleton on Ian Poveda's attitude. Leeds still in touch with Cunha camp. Real Valladolid youngster linked. Senegalese star isn't interested in a Premier League move. Phil Hay says Klich promises have been broken. And World Cup players return. Hey folks, Jay here on the 15th of December with your Leeds news. And there's a bit floating around, so we won't mess around. We'll get stuck into this straight away. And let's start off by talking about Leeds loanee Ian Poveda and his time at Blackpool. Blackpool manager Michael Appleton has been speaking about the player and his spell there, and where he has heaped praise on the player's impact coming off the bench against Birmingham in the 0-0 draw last week. He has also pointed out the players had significant frustrations this season that have at times hindered his own progress. And this is what Appleton had to say about the player. He went through a spell where he wasn't in the team and it probably got the better of him, and he's shown a lot of frustration. His attitude could have been a little better at times, but he's responded well. He's come back from that, and I think that the way that he's applied himself in training has rubbed off on his performances when he's come on from the bench. Poveda has had to settle for that role so far this season, which is not what he would have been expecting going down there. He did struggle with injuries at the back end of last season and has had a tough spell trying to force his way into the Leeds team. We've seen moments of class from Poveda when he did play for Leeds in the last season, the Championship, but hasn't really turned that into any major form at Leeds. He's only 22, there's plenty of time left, and fingers crossed it can work out for him in the second half of the season with Blackpool and get some extra minutes there and start starting some games. Moving on then, and let's talk about some incoming news. And there's a bit about this, and there's a lot of conflicting reports about all of these reports that we're going to give you now in the next couple of minutes. I will start off with Matheus Cunha, and according to Graham Smith, Leeds are still in touch with Atletico Madrid and are keeping in touch with Cunha's camp himself. Leeds are not the favourites to sign the player. Wolves have been tipped to sign the player pretty much for the last 2 weeks. It looks like it's going to be done imminently at any moment, but it hasn't yet to be done. And what's been said by Graham Smith is that Leeds have monitored the situation, have stayed in touch with Atletico Madrid, and will continue to stay in touch with Cunha's camp coming in to the winter transfer window opening. It's definitely a position Leeds need to get sorted quick. Will they get it sorted for the first couple of weeks of January? I don't know. Will it be Cunha? It would be nice to get him. I think he's a good player. We've also been linked with Pedro as well, Chris Wood, and we've also been linked with Boulaye Dia from Senegal as well. And we'll talk a little bit about Boulaye Dia as well, because according to Tuto Salernitana, Leeds are still interested in signing the Senegalese international, who had a very, very good World Cup. A fee of around €12 million is what's being touted, but Everton, West Ham and Leicester are also said to be interested in him. But this is where the conflicting reports come in, and according to club chief Francesco Femano, there's no interest in the player moving. And what he has said about this is this: I certainly think there's a will to continue together. Dia is a champion who we've seen very little of yet. He has produced excellent performances in Qatar, which confirms his talent at the highest level, and Salernitana keep players of the highest level. We're pointing out that Salernitana are 12th in Serie A and wouldn't be known for being one of the top sides in Serie A, so hanging on to the best quality players, probably not true, if we're being honest. It's a strange one because a lot of places are saying Leeds are heavily interested in the player. Other places are saying Boulaye Dia, who's on his third club in the last 12 months, isn't interested in a move. He had his move to Villarreal. It didn't work out for him. He was loaned to Salernitana. It's working for him in Serie A, and now lots of other clubs are interested in the player. Will he move, or will he just want to stay still and get his feet under a table somewhere and get some form? I don't know, but he had a very strong World Cup as well, and there is interest in him. So that'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on for us. And then looking on a strange one that came out this morning, and again, the conflicting reports on this are not the player, but where he fits. So Real Valladolid fullback Ivan Fresneda has been linked with Leeds. The 18-year-old Real Valladolid right back has a buyout clause of €13 million, which is about 25-ish million pounds. And this is the interesting one. So a couple of places, AS in Spain, have said that Leeds are very interested in the player, and in fact have already opened to negotiations and are in talk. However, Yorkshire Evening Post have backed up all of that, but have said that Leeds look at him as a replacement for Junior Firpo. We're pointing out that even Fresneda is a right back, not a left back. Why Leeds will be looking for Fresneda as an 18-year-old to replace a left back is confusing, especially for that kind of money. Think about players Leeds have been linked at from a left back position. Kai Wagner won the Players of the Year in the MLS last season. Rafael Guerrero has been linked as well. So there's players of proper quality in that position. Why Leeds would look at bringing in a player with 6 first-team games under his belt who plays on the right-hand side of the pitch to replace a left-back, I don't know. I think the Yorkshire Evening Post may have got confused with the player's positioning. Maybe he plays on the left and I haven't seen that, possibly. But it's a strange one to be looking at. But apparently Leeds have open negotiations. He did have a €10 million release clause, but he signed a new contract recently, and the new release clause is €30 million, which again is £25 million. So strange one. We'll have to keep an eye on that as well. Apparently Leeds are already in talks with the player, so that's a lot of that going around this week. The goalkeeper from Croatia as well. And then finally, so second last story, Matthias Klich and Phil Hay is reporting that promises have been made and broken to Matthias Klich and that he's not very happy. According to Phil Hay, conversations in August between Klich and Jesse Marsh made Klich think twice about leaving Leeds, and he decided to stay. He ultimately missed out on the World Cup, probably because he wasn't getting enough minutes on the pitch. And Phil Hay has said the relationship between Jesse Marsh and Matthias Klich is strained since August. The fact that the promises that were made to him were broken, and that this has led to why Klich is on his way. It's worth pointing out, though, Klich is into his 30s at this stage and is looking at probably one of his last contracts in football at a high level. He's one of the Leeds Championship winning squad who you're looking at over the next 18 months is probably going to start to phase out of the club as they get older and Leeds start to freshen the team up with younger players. I made points clear on my feelings clear on Klich this week. Fantastic servant for Leeds. I love them, one of my favourite players that Leeds have had in a long time. But it looks like he's heading his way out, and it looks like there may have been promises broken there. But unfortunately, that can happen in football. With the best will in the world, you can tell a player he's part of your plans, and as the season goes on, you watch it and you think, actually, he's not. So Klich has played less minutes this season than Dan James has played for Leeds. That tells you how little he's played for Leeds. And then finally, to finish off, the World Cup players have started to return to Leeds. Aronson, Adams and Christensen are all back in training this week ahead of the Real Sociedad friendly tomorrow night. It'd be good to get them back in. Whether they'd be ready in time for that game, I don't know. Possibly on the bench. We're still waiting on updates on the injury from Diego Llorente, Robin Koch, to see if they're going to be fit in time for the game on Friday night. Also, we have waiting for update on Crescencio Somerville's boot. I'm sure we'll get something from Jesse Marsh in the next 24 hours before the game kicks off. That's it, folks. Thanks for popping by, and I'll see you tomorrow with more Leeds news. See you. Bye.